all. Yes. hmm You know, when I inform you that the petitioner didn't sign this and I wasn't given any due process, right, and you issued it for 10 years, I didn't really look at this for approximately 2 years. Now, I would have thought that as soon as law enforcement did understand that the requirements of the law were not enforced at the time of the issuance of the court order, yeah, they would have removed it, but you decided to not do that. You never reverse your decision. Well, we're really faced with some very difficult times, don't we? I mean, after all those emails and all those videos, and I know you say nobody watches them, and you could be right. It's involving more and more persons that seem to believe that they're important. Now, I mentioned the who's who of those that have done something significant. Yeah. Some of them are liable for what you're doing. It's a book that you can get called Who's Who of those that have done something significant. And then there are those at the TED conferences, all those individuals that have done something significant with their lives that somebody thought, well, we should listen to what they have to say because of how important they are. Now, you won't listen to me. Maybe there's some important person that needs to talk to you. Now, it is police brutality, and I know that you say that I don't have control of what I'm doing, but the truth of the matter is I do. Ooch. I understand the use of technology and I understand how technology does work. Yeah. See, this thought that my dog made me do it. Oh, well, the respondent didn't have actual notice. Wasn't a credible threat. Ooch. That the restraint provisions, yes. If I don't find at least 10 other individuals that have been arrested, right, for violating the restraint provisions of a protection order, yes, I'm going to say that it's police brutality to use a traffic citation where there's an obligation to ask for ID. Yes. hmm Now, I know Brent Baston's just too important to you as a county. You just can't get rid of him. Poop. And the chief of police can't be fired because he's the chief of the police. And Deputy Fish, he can't be fired, can you now? Ooh, looks like nobody can get arrested, no one can be fired, and you can't allow me to sue you because you're all so important. Congratulations. You're so important. Now, I'm not really, as much as the military wants to do something, I'm thinking that they're not going to. You know, after emailing Criminal Investigative Division of the United States Army hundreds of thousands of times, yeah, they're not going to do anything. I emailed the National Guard about my civil rights being violated, and they thought it was an information request. I did say that they'll all get fired, every fucking one of them in Washington State. Because I will sue for the removal of the National Guard of this state. Now, since I do understand the actual authority to enforce state law and the state's constitution, every one of them can get a dishonorable discharge. Oh, and for all of you that said, well, we're not going to let him do that. Oh, I think you will. Ooch, ooch. Now for the commanding, well, look at there, the big general of the National Guard. Mister, I know a reptile that happened to live on the dark side of the moon. It's Paul. Why don't you get me the commanders of each of the 50 states, National Guards, and the individual that happens to be the general of the National Guard? See, I was doing some thinking about the use of lithium ion. Yes. And I decided not to shave. Yep, I did get to shower, but for some reason my comb wasn't in my backpack. Does my hair look okay because I wasn't able to comb it? Mr. Big General. A lot of the generals and admirals don't like it when I talk to them in the other branches of the military, but I just wanted you to know, as that big four-star general of the nation's National Guard, that I have a great dislike for you. In fact, I think you're of that Nazi ilk. Ooch, what did I not see right now? Wait, did that upset you? That the nation's National Guard would employ somebody that you're upset right now, are you? Well, why don't you get me the commander? Uh-oh. Are you going to get me? You're going to send the National Guard in to arrest me? Look at that. The state of Washington's National Guard. It's Paul. For all of you that thought that you couldn't be sued for refusing to enforce the actual civil rights of any resident of the state. I know. That's what the police department said. We're not going to enforce his rights. You're not putting me in prison. No, you're not. Why don't you get me the nation's National Guard? Because I had a little lithium issue while sleeping last night, and I got to thinking about it. Yeah, there is a fluid in the spine. Yes, connected to the nerve endings. Did anybody do some studies on exactly what the effect of lithium is in the spinal fluid of the spine of those in the National Guard? Now I know. You know about the itchy scratchy where you can mark yourself on and off a person? Yeah. Quite often I'll see somebody or they'll see me and they'll do one of these or they'll use the other hand or they'll do my ear or they'll pick my nose or they'll do whatever so they can mark themselves on me. But I found out that with the right amount of lithium, yes, you can actually control the marking mechanism of the itchy scratchy program. Now, let's say that we as a nation decided to really charge up our cell phones. Ooch. Why doesn't every American citizen fully load your cell phone and then download, as much as your memory will hold? YouTube videos, or, well, use YouTube. They got lots of servers. And run your cell phone completely out when not necessarily watching the movie or listening to what it says. Just put it on for 2 hours and set it right next to your bed when you go to sleep until every person, well, completely not deletes, uses up the amount of lithium ion. See, what I thought we'd do is we as a nation, yes, let's say this cell phone, okay, fully charged, yes. If I were to play a YouTube movie on there for about 2 hours, yes, it probably would use up most of it. But 4 hours of playing videos on this cell phone, yeah, my battery would be completely emptied. Yes. And I want to see the actual effect of using up 100% of the battery, and then having to recharge it when you wake up in the morning. Now, I didn't shave because my whiskers are too long, so I'm going to have a beard for the next couple weeks until the homeless connect. Then I'm going to get my hair cut and my beard shaved off so I can continue shaving. But I thought I would look good with a beard. Now, this is Play Movies and TV. I think you have to pay for those. Yes, yes, yes. But I got an app from the Google Play Store. See, watch now, TVs, movies. Yeah. Why doesn't everybody go to the YouTube? Yes. And why don't we all download whatever movies or just put it on the YouTube? Uh-huh. See, if I push this right here, yes. And we can completely empty, yes, every lithium ion battery into our brains while sleeping to find out the effect of lithium in us.